What's up, guys? Unfortunately, the garage AC went and crapped out on me. So currently I have the house door open and I'm trying to get as much AC as I can in the garage. Tried cleaning out the drain, tried cleaning the filters, didn't work. So I might have to have like one of the AC guys come do stuff and magical. I tried thawing it, I tried all the obvious stuff. I got a nice black Willwood Master for the Villains handbrake setup. Fits in there perfectly, so I'm gonna start tightening this down, getting it all ready, and then I can start running lines. Man, is it convenient having sliders so I can get access to everything. The line kit that Villain sells makes it really easy and really clean because it just uses one banjo, and then it goes to the back where it daisy chains between the brakes. If you've been here for a while, you remember I've been promising to make a video on how to do the Honda hood mod where you can lift the hood straight up on an S chassis. Well, conveniently enough, it's the same exact thing on it. Don't open the garage door, I'm gonna lose all my AC. So anyway, it's really simple, and I promised you guys that I would make a video on how to do it. And since I have to paint the brackets anyway, now's the perfect time to do it. It's really simple. There's just a little stop right here that prevents it from opening all the way, and all you have to do is just grind that down. The easiest way for me was to put it upside down in a vise like this and use a cutter wheel on a grinder and just grind this part down here, and then we're able to fully open this now 180 degrees. I'm a very big fan of the Villains line kit. I've used other line kits and they're kind of a pain. Theirs is actually very simple. What I did is I just drilled a hole right by the center console, kind of behind the master, stuck a grommet in, ran it back, and we're just gonna probably like zip tie it to the actual like handbrake line, and then it goes to one handbrake back here, and then it's just daisy chained over to this guy. It's very simple. I'm just hoping that these calipers aren't like seized or stuck or anything, because those they're sitting in a car in a junkyard for a while. I got my trunk back from Randy, and he actually did a really nice job at welding up the holes where the spoiler was, so I'll be able to put the other spoiler that I got, which I think you guys are really gonna like. I just left the hardware there, so I have to go grab that so I can install the latch, but we got a trunk again. Look at that. A for Alberto. Here's one Nicole's famous gourmet hot chocolate for you.
I have good news too for you, sir.
Did you figure out the power drain?
Yes.
What was it?
There was an output on the computer that was wired for ECSS or ECCS relay that does not need power from the computer, apparently. So the computer had some output thing on the plug and play adapter, and it was just keeping power going back. Once you turn it on, it stayed on constant and wouldn't let go power. So I started going through all the auxiliaries out of the computer one by one, and I found once I took that one out, it doesn't stay on anymore, and I'm having power to the engine. So that means the relay is powered by the ignition switch and doesn't need power back from the computer. So that was the issue. Sick. So I don't have to keep on unplugging the battery every time I don't drive the Skyline anymore. How great. A friend of mine, Luke from Australia, actually clued me in on something else with the Skyline. I've been complaining because my steering's been super heavy, especially compared to Tommy's car, which has really light steering. And apparently there's a solenoid on the power steering pump, and when you do swaps, it doesn't like work right. But typically with the Skylines, I guess there's a speed sensor that tells it how soft to make the steering. When you don't have that, which this car doesn't right now, it goes into like a fail-safe mode, and it gets really hard, which mine has been. Apparently you can just send 12 volts or however many volts you want, and you can make the steering much softer. Got the hood all fitted up. I know it looks like the color match isn't the best right now, but mind you, once the car is clean and fully corrected, it should be way closer to the OEM color that this was painted. On top of that, the car is getting a livery, so you won't really even be able to tell. Vents aren't as in your face now that the car is all white. Got the handbrake setup all done. It's looking really nice in there. Definitely liking how the cockpit is looking. I just need to deal with this area. There's a company in Australia that makes a thing that bolts to the shifter that moves it forward, so I might be able to do that and then just go back to an OEM boot to get it looking nice. But you guys know how crazy I am with interiors, and I'm very happy with how clean everything came out. I can't remember if I showed you guys this or not, but I did have a kind of a sketchy trans bracket where there's only like 2 bolts holding it in. So Alberto redid that today as well and added some little like L's to it to strengthen it up, but much more sturdy now that we have 2 bolts. This is the pretty side over here. This one's like right here.
All TIG welded and fancy. I love how
Log score, whatever it was, TIG.
I love how nice like you got the exhaust tucked up in here. Looks really good. I knew this video was gonna be a little bit on the shorter side, so I asked you guys on the YouTube community page what you wanted to see at the end of this video, and unanimously, you guys wanted to see a quick update on all the different cars that we have. So I made some sticky notes and we will go over them. Number 1, the BMW. I told you guys this before, but it is looking very bright, and hopefully we'll have that car back in our hands maybe sometime within the next week or two. Depends on if I go on this trip or not. But the car made good power on the dyno, it's working, and now it's basically just dialing in the flex fuel setup and making sure that it's good on 93 as well. So that one, taken care of. Next up, Mazda Miata has been sitting, and we are basically deciding whether or not we're gonna use that shell or get another shell to swap a 13B in. It wouldn't be for a while, we're in no rush to do that. Nicole doesn't like driving it in the summer because it's just too hot. So that's where the Miata has been. Nicole's S13 still needs to be painted. All I have to really do before paint is put the rear bumper on and then figure out if we can get that front bumper to look nice and flow the side skirts, or switch up the kit or switch up the bumper or something along the lines of that. So that will hopefully be happening sometime soon so I can get that car not looking ugly anymore. The cream S13, if you guys remember, was on the dyno, lifted the head, so that car needs a head gasket, maybe some machine work to the head. Hopefully it's not too bad. Alberto's gonna do that while I'm gone on this trip, so that should be back running again within the next week or two. Once it's running, then I can figure out if I wanna like clean up all the dents and stuff or do over fenders or all the stuff that I was thinking about. Mustang just got delivered today. The delivery guy like ruined the splitter loading it onto the car because he didn't use ramps like he should have. So that sucks, but I'm gonna see if they'll buy me a new lip. It's only like 300 bucks. And then on top of that, I think I'm going to put some Ford Performance lowering springs on the Mustang since it retains the Magna Ride. Do that. I think BC Forged has some wheels they might let me borrow just so I can have the car on some wider like GT350R style wheels. Not like style, but like width. It's like an extra ½ inch in the front and the rear so you can fit a fatter tire. And then maybe I'll take that car to the track again because it was really fun when I had that car on the track. Next up, we have Nicole's, oh, I skipped one. Next up, we have Ford F250. Yeah, still waiting on the wheels, I know. It's one of those things where I forget about it because I don't drive it all the time, so I'm just kind of slacking with communication. But yeah, we'll have wheels on it at some point. Both the F250 and the Mini Cooper S, all they're really getting is, I want to put window tint on them because they both get really hot inside. Nicole's Mini, she drives it as a daily, doesn't need more mods, it works well, it's powerful, it doesn't break. So, next up, JZX100. Sitting at Ebisu, waiting for me to come back and drive it for Falmat Surrey. The S15 is making great progress. I'll have to make an update at Injuku, but they have started doing stuff with the engine now, so that's exciting. Chassis fabrication's pretty much done, so we'll be seeing more stuff kind of happen with that and as it comes along. Next up, we have the 350Z. Is sitting all dented up and stuff. I guess I could put a new fender on it if I find a black one, but for right now I'm just kind of like leaving it, and that's just my car to drive if there's a drift event and all the other cars are broken, which is very likely. Who is you? Look how absurd it looks with all the little sticky notes. It looks like we have so many cars. Imagine if they're all in the same spot at the same time and they all worked. How crazy would that be? I really want to make a video. I think it'd be so cool to do an exhaust comparison video with all the cars. But the thing is, they're all like never working at the same time. So anyway, one day we can only dream. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I will see you tomorrow, and we should have the Skyline in quotations done. So definitely exciting. It's been a long ongoing project. I feel like I've made the same outro many times, but all good. You guys know how it is. All right, later.